Hello, my friends. Welcome back to ASMR Nerd Herd. And tonight, we're going to leave the familiar behind and go on a very special journey. A journey to the edge of our solar system and beyond. To meet a traveler from another star. So settle in, relax, and let's softly explore the incredible science of our third interstellar visitor, the ancient object known as 3I Atlas. Let's take a nice deep breath and just let it go. Feel any tension in your shoulders, in your neck, just melting away. Our journey tonight is one of quiet wonder, of gentle discovery. There's nothing you need to do but listen and relax. I strongly suggest to put on headphones for this whispered journey and let the sounds and the story just wash over you like a calm, cosmic tide. We'll travel through the quiet darkness of space, guided by the faint light of distant stars. We will approach this mysterious messenger and listen for the secret it has carried across unimaginable voids of space and time. We'll learn what our most powerful telescopes have seen, what they have uncovered about this object's incredible history and its very, very unusual nature. So find a comfortable position, close your eyes if you'd like, let your mind become still and open to the wonders of the cosmos. Our journey to 3I Atlas begins now. Our story begins not in the cold, distant reaches of space, but right here in a quiet observatory nestled in the mountains of Chile. On the 1st of July 2025, astronomers with the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, a program with the powerful yet ominous name of Atlas, were doing what they do every night, scanning the vast dark sky for anything new, anything that moves against the backdrop of stationary stars. Imagine the quiet hum of the machinery, the gentle clicks of the telescope, and as it adjusts to its gaze, the night very clear, the air thin, and the universe is on full display. The Atlas system is like a set of vigilant robotic eyes designed to find near-Earth objects, asteroids or comets that might one day pose a threat to our world. But on this particular night, it found something far more extraordinary. It appeared as a faint, unassuming smudge of light, a tiny point of data in a sea of information. It was initially given the temporary name A11PI3Z, not a very poetic name for what it would turn out to be. At first, you might have dismissed it as yet another distant asteroid, but something about its path was very different. Astronomers all over the world were alerted. More telescopes turned their powerful lens toward this new discovery. The data began to pour in observation after observation, each one adding another piece to the puzzle. As they plotted its course, a wave of profound excitement began to ripple through the astronomical community. This was no ordinary object. Most things in our solar system, planets, asteroids, the comets that we see in our skies, are bound by the sun's immense gravity. They travel in elliptical or somewhat circular paths, destined to loop around our star for billions of years. But this object was different. Its trajectory was goes up, and gravity pulls it right back down. Now imagine throwing that same ball so fast that it escapes Earth's gravity entirely and flies off into space. That's what astronomers were seeing here. The object was moving at a mind-boggling speed of about 209,000 kilometers per hour. So fast that the sun's gravity couldn't hold onto it. It came from the vast darkness between the stars. It would swing around our sun, and then it would disappear back into the darkness, never to return. This was an interstellar object, a visitor from another star system. It was officially given the designation 3I Atlas. The 3I means it's the third interstellar object over confirmed to pass through our solar system. The first was the strange cigar-shaped named Oumuamua, discovered in 2017. The second was 2I Borisov, a comet that looked a lot more familiar to us, found in 2019. And now we had a third. Each one is as precious fleeting chance to study a piece of another part of our galaxy delivered right to our cosmic doorstep. As astronomers looked closer, they noticed that 3I Atlas wasn't just a silent rock. Even from a great distance out beyond the orbit of Jupiter, it was already showing signs of activity. Had a faint, fuzzy cloud around it, a coma, which is the hallmark of a comet. This happens when an object made of ice and rock gets close enough to a star for the warmth to turn its frozen materials directly into gas, a process called sublimation. This gas, and the dust it carries with it, creates a glowing halo. The fact that it was active so far from the sun was the first clue that 3I Atlas was unusual, even for a comet. Most of our own comets don't start to turn on until they get closer to the sun's warmth. The visitor was very different. It was already waking up. Tracing its path backwards, astronomers figured out it had to approach our solar system from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, which is right towards the heart of our Milky Way galaxy. Imagine it traveling for millions, maybe even billions of years, a silent, frozen wanderer in the immense void, drifting through the galaxy, a tiny, lonely speck, until by pure chance it entered our little corner of the cosmos. When it was discovered, it was already inside the orbit of Jupiter, about 670 million kilometers from the sun. Its journey will bring it closest to the sun on October 29, 2025, when it passes just inside the orbit of Mars. Thankfully, it poses no threat to Earth. Its closest approach to our planet will still be very safe, 270 kilometers away. But its path is what makes it so fascinating. It follows a retrograde orbit, moving around the sun in the opposite direction to all the planets, and its trajectory is incredibly fast and straight, with an orbital eccentricity that among the highest ever recorded for an interstellar object. It's a traveler on a cosmic highway, briefly dipping into our little neighborhood before continuing its endless journey. A messenger from afar, carrying with it the physical story of its home. And for a very short time, we have the chance to read that story as we continue our gentle exploration of 3I Atlas. Let's softly consider not just where it's going, but where it has been. Let's think about its age, the object in our solar system, the Earth, Mars, Jupiter, even our own comets, all formed at roughly the same time from the same swirling cloud of gas and dust that created our sun. They're all, give or take, about 4.5 billion years old. But 3i Atlas isn't from around here. It wasn't born with our sun. It comes from another star. And that star could be very, very different from our own. It could be scientists at the University of Oxford started studying the path of 3i Atlas, not just in our solar system, but through the galaxy. The Milky Way isn't just a flat disk of stars. It has different parts. There's the thin disk, where our sun and most of the galaxy's younger stars live. And then there are the thick disks and the halo, purifier regions around the thin disk, filled with the galaxy's most ancient stars. These are relics from the early days of the Milky Way galaxy, many of them billions of years. By analyzing the steep path and the high speed of 3i Atlas, the researchers landed on a startling hypothesis. Its motion isn't typical for something from the thin disk where we live. Instead, its trajectory seems to match an origin in the Milky Way's thick disk. This means it was likely born around one of those ancient stars. How ancient? Well, some statistical models suggest there's a very good chance that 3i Atlas is much older than our entire solar system. Some estimates have placed its age at an incredible 7.5 billion. Let's just rest with that idea for a moment. 3 billion years. It's a number so vast, it's almost impossible to really feel. Think about the history of our Earth. The first single-cell life appearance about 3.5 billion years ago. Dinosaurs roamed the planet 200 million years ago. Modern humans have only been around for about 300,000 years. All of our recorded history is just the tiniest sliver of time. Now imagine this little comet thought to be only about 2 to 10 kilometers across, when the Earth was still a molten ball of rock. 3i Atlas may have already been a fully formed object orbiting its own parent star. While our solar system was just a cloud of gas, this comet was already a traveler for 3 billion years before our sun even lit up. This object may have been drifting through the cosmos. It is quite possibly the oldest comet humanity has ever had the chance to observe, a true relic from a much earlier time in our galaxy's history. So how does an object like this even start its journey? It would have formed in the disk of material around its own ancient star, just like our comets did, but then something must have happened to kick it out. A powerful gravitational disturbance, maybe a close pass, with a giant planet in its home system, acted like a gravitational slingshot, flinging it out into the void. Whatever the cause, it was casted out, sent out to a solitary journey through interstellar space. For billions of years, it just drifted silent, frozen, a time capsule, preserving the chemical conditions of its birthplace. Think of the sheer emptiness of that space. The distance between stars is almost beyond comprehension. To travel from one star system to another, even at the most incredible speeds, takes millions upon millions of years. This object has been making that journey for a huge fraction of the age of the universe itself. It has drifted through the glowing nebula, past the birth of new stars and the death of others in brilliant supernova. It has silently witnessed cosmic history on a scale we can barely imagine. And now its long, lonely path has, by a beautiful accident of celestial mechanics, crossed with ours. When we look at 3i Atlas, we're not just looking at a comet. We're looking back in time. We're seeing a physical piece of a star system that may have died about eons ago. We're connecting messenger from the ancient galaxy, a galaxy that was very different from the one we know today. It's a humbling thought that this small icy body has a history more profound than our own world. It reminds us that our solar system is just one small part of a vast and dynamic galaxy, and that even the most fleeting visitors can carry the most extraordinary stories. Now let's draw a little closer to our ancient visitor. Let's gently focus our attention on the remarkable discoveries made by our most powerful eye in the sky, the James Webb Space Telescope. After its discovery, astronomers knew 3-Eye Atlas was a unique scientific prize. They pointed the Hubble Space Telescope at it. They used ground-based observatories like the Very Large Telescope in Chile, and most excitingly, they aimed the incredible sensitivity of the James Webb Telescope, or JWST, right at the comet. The JWST is a masterpiece. It doesn't see the universe in the same way our eyes do. It sees in infrared light, which is basically the light of heat. This lets it peer through cosmic dust and detect the faint glow of distant objects. But its real power for our story is an instrument called the Near Infrared Spectrograph, or NIRS-SPEC. Think of spectroscopy as a way of reading a chemical fingerprint from light. When light passes through a prism, it splits into a rainbow, a spectrum. But if that light has first passed through a cloud of gas, certain colors will be missing, showing up as dark lines. Each chemical element absorbs light at very specific, unique wavelengths. By looking at which lines are missing, scientists can tell exactly what the gas is made of. It's an amazing tool for studying the composition of things that are billions of kilometers away. On August 6, 2025, the JWST trained its golden eye on 3-Eye Atlas, carefully analyzing the light from its comma, the fuzzy cloud of gas and dust, and what it found was strange, very strange. As expected, the telescope detected familiar things we see in our own comet: water vapor, water ice, and carbon monoxide. But one compound was present in an astonishing amount: carbon dioxide, the same gas we breathe out. The comma of 3-Eye Atlas was overwhelmingly dominated by carbon dioxide. The data suggest a mixing ratio of carbon dioxide to water of about 8:1. This is one of the highest ratios ever recorded in any comet. It was quite literally out of this world. This tells us something profound about where 3-Eye Atlas might have been born. In a forming star system, different ices condense at different distances from the star based on temperature, right? This is called ice line. Water ice forms further out where it's colder. Carbon dioxide forms even further out in the true frigid regions. The huge amount of CO2 in 3-Eye Atlas suggests it may have formed in a region far colder and more CO2 rich than where our own comets formed. But the strangest didn't stop there. Observations from the Very Large Telescope added another puzzling clue. It seemed to detect the presence of nickel in the comet's comma. But curiously, it did not detect iron. This is highly unusual. In our solar system, nickel and iron are almost always found together. The presence of one without the other is a real head-scratcher, suggesting a unique chemical process that we haven't just figured it out. These chemical fingerprints, the overwhelming carbon dioxide, the mystery of the nickel without iron are clues to a story about a different kind of star system with different conditions. 3-Eye Atlas is a physical sample of that system, a messenger telling us that solar systems might form in more ways than we ever imagined. This is where the story gets really interesting, moving from confirmed science to the fascinating edge of speculation. The sheer strangeness of 3I Atlas has led some scientists, most notably the Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, to ask a provocative question. What if it's not a comet? Now, it's worth whispering that this idea is on the fringe. Most scientists are confident that the evidence points to a natural, even if very unusual, comet. But it's a fascinating thought to explore as we drift here in the quiet darkness. Loeb and his colleagues have pointed out a series of strange coincidences. The trajectory of 3I Atlas is not just fast, it's suspiciously efficient. Its path brings it close to several planets with a statistical probability that's incredibly low. And its orbital plane is tilted at only 5 degrees relative to the plane of our own planet's orbit on. Out of all the possible random angles, this alignment is also highly improbable and would theoretically make it much easier for a craft to access the planets. There's its closest approach to the sun. This will happen when the object is on the opposite side of the sun, completely hidden from our view. Loeb suggests that this would be the perfect moment for a technological artifact to perform a secret maneuver, maybe using the sun's gravity to slow down and enter a stable orbit, all while hidden from our telescopes. This line of thinking connects to a dark, chilling idea known as the dark forest hypothesis, a proposed answer to the question of where is everybody? This hypothesis suggests the universe is like a dark forest filled with silent hunters. Every civilization is an armed hunter, and since you can never know the intentions of another, the safest strategy is to stay silent, and if you detect another, eliminate them before they can eliminate you. In this terrifying vision of the cosmos, announcing your existence is a death sentence. Advanced civilizations aren't gone, they're hiding. Could 3I Atlas be a probe from such a civilization? A silent observer gathering data? Are its unusual trajectory, strange chemistry, and convenient hiding spot just a series of natural coincidences? Or are they signs of intelligent design? Again, the scientific consensus is that 3I Atlas is a natural object. NASA scientists have pointed out that while it's little different, it looks like a comet, and it acts like a comet. The strange chemistry is a puzzle, but a puzzle that likely has a natural explanation. We just haven't found it yet. But the thought of experiment is valuable. It pushes us to keep an open mind, and it reminds us that as we look into the great silent darkness, we truly don't know what's out there. Whether the universe is a welcoming place or a dark forest, objects like 3I Atlas are our physical connection to what lies beyond our own little island of light. And so our journey with this silent traveler is drawing to a close. We have watched it arrive, a faint speck of light, heralding a visitor from an unknown shore. We have contemplated its immense, almost unbelievable age, a history that began billions of years before our own Earth took shape, and we have peered into its chemical makeup, finding a fingerprint so strange it challenges our understanding of how star systems are born. The story of 3I Atlas is as a beautiful blend of knowns and unknowns. We know its path, its speed, its size. We have a snapshot of its chemistry, but so much is still a mystery. We don't know its its home star, we can only guess at the long silent journey it took us to reach us. Its unusual features give tantalizing clues, but the full story is still just beyond our grasp. As 3i Atlas reaches its closest point to our sun, hidden from our view, it will begin its long journey back out into the void. It will speed past the outer planets, growing fainter and fainter until once again it's just a frozen wanderer in the great dark expanse. It will never return. Its brief passage has left a lasting impact. It has given us a precious gift, a physical sample from another part of the galaxy. It reminds us that our solar system is connected to a much larger, much older, and much more varied galactic neighborhood. The question it raises are profound. What other kinds of star systems are out there? How diverse is the chemistry of the galaxy? As we continue to scan the skies, what other messages or messengers will we find? Will the next one be just as strange or even stranger? The universe is under no obligation to make sense to us. It is vast and complex and full of wonders. We are only just at the beginning to uncover. Each discovery, like 3i Atlas, is like a tiny key, unlocking one more door of understanding while revealing a dozen more doors we never knew existed. And now it is time to let the thoughts just drift away. Let the story of this ancient comet fade into the background of your mind. Feel the gentle pull of relaxation, the quiet invitation to sleep. The universe will continue its silent, majestic dance. Stars will be born, planets will form, and other travelers will continue their lonely journey through the void. All is well, all is calm. Allow your breathing to be slow and deep. With each breath, feel yourself sinking deeper and deeper into a state of perfect peace. This cosmic journey is over, and it is time to rest. Thank you for joining me on this gentle exploration of 3i Atlas. If you enjoyed our journey tonight and would like to continue exploring the quiet wonders of the cosmos, I softly invite you to subscribe and join our community of curious minds. Your support allows me to create more journeys like this. Thank you for your support. And this is ASMR Nerd Herd. Stay nerdy, stay tingly. Good night.